Hazel Scott was born with talents right at her fingertips to an upper-middle-class professional family. Her father was an English professor at St. Mary's College, and her mother was a gifted musician. She frequently heard her mother, who was a piano teacher, play on the piano and help others learn to play. Without practice, one day she began playing a church hymn and played every note perfectly. Hazel's parents brought the family to America in 1924 after her father took a job offer at a university. When moving to the United States, the 19th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution was ratified on August 18th, which gave women the right to vote. This did not give the vote to Southern African women like the struggle for black men happened. Black women were becoming largely recognized by receiving PhDs, winning an Olympic gold medal, and chairing Consolidated Bank and Trust. Women, especially black women, were not taking no for an answer. At the age of 8 years old, Hazel's mother knew there was a way to help her daughter become successful. She tried out for Juilliard at the School of Music. The age to get into the school was 16 years old, but her mother was convinced them to let her audition. The young girl impressed Professor Paul Wagner and was offered a scholarship. The school said that Hazel was a musical genius. He began helping her make progress all the way to Hollywood and Broadway. Her type of music could be sang in 7 different languages with a choice of jazz, blues, and a little bit of swing. During the day, she attended school, and on the night, she performed at the top nightclubs in New York City. At the age of 14, Hazel's father passed away, and her mom organized a women's band and played a saxophone while Hazel played the piano and trumpet. At the 1939 World Fair. She helped the society emerge in a new light by being the first to welcome a racially integrated crowd into the downtown nightclub. Hollywood began noticing her, and she began appearing in films. Hazel Scott became the first African American to host her own television show, The Hazel Scott Show. The show is a 15-minute, 3 times a week showcase for her musical talent and voice. Her face being the first black woman to be a star helped change the view of African Americans worldwide. Her show brought fame and large amount of viewers. During the time of her show, she was earning $25,000, which today is equivalent to almost $1 million a year. She faced racism behind the screen and outside of the recording studio for being black and also a woman. Other women during this time were making a change to Americans' eyes. This was the decade for change. Lucille Ball performed in I Love Lucy, a TV show, and on screen searched for job opportunities that took her out of the kitchen. Her husband, Adam Clayton Powell, Jr., was a black congressman from Harlem. Both of the two remained in headlines for who they were and who they represented. After her success on screen and on the stage, she refused to play before segregated audiences. Hazel was a strong woman who was never ashamed to speak out about the injustice that she was receiving. Fighting for her justice and creating a racial commotion, Hazel appeared before the House Committee on Un-American Activities after being blacklisted. She was suspected to having communist ties during the early years of the Cold War. She appeared before Congress and was very angry. With the position of her husband being a congressman, she felt they would be considerate in believing her that she was not involved with the ties. With her angry presence, the opposite actually happened. After the court's decision, her show was canceled 3 months later. Nat King Cole produced a variety show and would be known as the first black woman to appear on TV show, even though it was actually Hazel Scott. Hazel Scott was upset and left the United States to study abroad in Paris for 12 years. In Paris, she continued to play jazz music and remained with her talent in music. She returned to the United States and continued to perform during the 1960s. When she returned, the Civil Rights Act of 1964 ended segregation in public places and banned employment discrimination on the basis of race, color, religion, sex, or origin. Returning to the United States, she became terminally ill with cancer. On October 2, 1981, Hazel Scott passed away in New York City, New York. Hazel will always be remembered for never backing down to her values and always found life in her musical talent.